Hello, it's Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm back at last with another video tutorial, and today's tutorial is both a project and technique tutorial. I'm going to show you how I put together this little notepad, which is covered in cardstock and designer series paper, but I'm also going to show you how I did this 12-sided wreath label as a thank you. And these are kind of my thank you gifts for anybody who shopped with me during the celebrations and also during the month of March. I know I'm kind of late getting these out, but sometimes it's kind of hard for me to figure out what kind of gift to give my wonderful customers. But anyway, you see this wreath? Doesn't it look like it has like 4 colors in it? Well, actually that's just 2 colors. And it's made with a 12-sided template for my stamp positioning tool. And I'm going to show you this template. Let's see. And this template I designed especially for a 3-inch square. Okay? Isn't that a cool template? It looks like a starburst. But yeah, this is I'm going to be using this with a 3-inch square of cardstock. And I'm going to show you how to do that with my stamp positioning tool. And I'm bringing up my new stamp positioning tool, and this is the new one from Stampin' Up. And now I have used on these little notebooks, I used a couple of stamps actually from the Eastern Beauty stamp set. This is like still one of my favorite stamp sets, and I use the thank you, and I'm also using this little sprinkle. It looks like a little spray of sprinkle, and that's another one of my favorites from this stamp set. Okay, and I'm only going to be using 2 colors. So what I'm going to do is I've applied a little bit of repositionable tape on here so that this stays down, and this stamp positioning tool comes with a pad and very strong magnets, and two hinge sets, but I'm only going to be using one side. And of course you can use this 12-sided template on any stamp positioning tool you have. So I'm going to be using photopolymer stamps, which I've already got adhered on my little platform top here, the hinge part. Okay, I've got both stamps there, and if you notice I have this L here. I just cut that out of just the backer paper from when you get the designer series paper. I cut that out, and the reason I did that is I want to stamp a little bit closer to this corner here, because when you stamp in this corner here, it doesn't really come out as great. So I'm pushing everything over just a little bit. But this is such a wonderful tool. I absolutely love it. It's one of the best stamping tools, and it will be available on June 1st with the new annual catalog. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a 3-inch square in Very Vanilla, and I'm using Very Vanilla because that is the background color of the designer series paper that I'm using. This designer series paper comes from the Eastern Palace DSP stack or collection. I'm also going to be using just Very Vanilla to cover it. Now let me just real quickly run through this one here is also the background paper is also from the Eastern Palace designer series paper stack, as is this one here too. Okay, but these actually come from the Floral Garden. Just if you want to see those yet, Floral Garden. This is Tranquil Tide Lemon Lime Twist, Berry Burst, and Fresh Fig. And these are some of the in colors that we still have going on until next year. Okay, so this is the 2018-2019 in colors. Okay, or did I say that right? 2017-2018? Oh boy, I get confused. But anyway, let me put these away. Okay, and we're going to get started stamping. Now before I do that, I'm going to put a little bit of repositionable tape on here. And what I'm going to do after I stamp everything is I'm going to be cutting this out with the largest stitched shape from the framelits, the stitched framelits, and that would be this one here. Okay. And so what I did, so that I make sure that I'm stamping inside, is I just have a little template here, and I place that template right in the middle, and before I position this on this part of the stamp positioning tool, I place my stamp down, you close it, and you pick it up, and that way I know it's gonna be perfect for when I actually cut this cardstock out of that stitch square. Okay, I hope I explained that correctly. Now, another thing that I'm going to do before I start stamping is I'm going to take a Post-it note, and I'm going to take my 1-inch circle punch, and I am going to make sure that I've got it on the sticky part here, at least part of it, and I'm just going to punch out a 1-inch circle to place right in the center of this. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I've got these two stamps on the stamp positioning tool so close together that every once in a while I'll accidentally stamp the this little thank you. I don't really want that. I only want it one time, not all the way around. Okay, so that's why I have this little yellow Post-it note here. So I've got this positioned right here. Okay, making sure that this is at least 2 corners or 3 corners match up, because sometimes I don't cut these perfectly, but they're perfect enough for me, and it's not going to matter because I'm going to be cutting this out anyway. So I'm going to start with the fresh fig, and I'm going to go ahead and apply the ink on the one. Like I say, I'm doing just 2 colors, but it's going to look like 4 colors. And pardon that little ink on the side, I've been doing this a lot today. Okay, so I'm going to move it so it could have that second generation of color without re-inking. Okay. See that? Let me bring it up close. See, now I have 2 colors, and now I'm going to, let's see, I started here, then I went there, now I'm going to go here. Wait. I started right here. I get a little confused if I keep picking it up like that. Let's see, where did that go? Okay, now I'm right here. Okay, and now I'm going to take a different color. The color that I'm going to be using is Tranquil Tide. So I'm not even going to wipe this off because Tranquil Tide is a real dark color, and it's going to just completely wash out any residue that was left on that stamp. Now I'm going to stamp that down. I know I'm being a little lazy. I could have washed it off, but I'm not going to. And then I'm going to rotate this 3-inch square into the next slots, and then I'm going to stamp it down. Okay, and now I'm going to rotate it and switch colors back to the fresh fig. Oops, let's make sure this is nice and square here. There we go. Oop, I slammed it down. All right, let me make sure that that's really good. There you go. And now I'm going to rotate it and stamp it down. Okay, and I'm going to continue doing this until it's all done. And I'll speed up the camera for you. Okay, there it is. I'll bring it closer to the camera so you can see. Isn't that beautiful? It looks like 4 colors are used, but only 2 colors are used. In fact, let me show you a card I did where I actually used 12 colors. It's like a little rainbow here. Isn't that pretty? So with this 12-sided template, you could do 12 different colors, or 2 different colors, or 3 different colors. It's even 4 if you want. It just kind of depends on what kind of design you want. Now I'm going to go ahead and place this back in here, right here. Okay, and I'm going to use the fresh fig for the thank you. I'm not going to worry about this stamping over. It's okay. Enough color was erased when I did that second generation of stamping. And one thing I like about the stamp positioning tool is if you didn't stamp it right the first time, you got a second chance, or third chance even. So look at that. All right, now I'm done with the stamp positioning tool, and I'm done with this 12-sided template for now. And you're probably wondering, so where do I get a 12-sided template to do this? Well, stay tuned and I'll tell you how you can get one for free. Okay, so anyway, let's bring out our stitched square. This is the largest of the stitched squares framelets, and I'm just going to go ahead and place it here with a couple of pieces of repositionable tape. You can use washi tape for this, and the reason I'm doing this with a little bit of tape is because I know I have the magnet platform, but it doesn't always work for me. Sometimes it jumps around, and I need this square to be pretty precise. So this is how I'm going to take it to the big shot. Now I'm not going to bring it in camera here. I'm going to just go ahead and cut it because I don't really have a whole lot of room for it here. So I'll be right back. Okay, here it is. And now I'm going to put that one back. What I did is I actually cut a little, oh, where is it? It was here. Here it is. I actually cut a scallop backing for this, okay? And this is done with the largest scallop, not the largest, the second to the largest scallop square from the, what are these framelets called? These are the Layering Squares framelit dies, okay? Don't take the largest one, take the second to the largest and cut it out of the background color, okay, which is what I did here to save a little time. And I'm going to just take my snail adhesive. Well, let me take my, I like to use my silicone craft sheet. I'm going to take my snail adhesive and I am going to put some snail adhesive on the back here, okay, and let's place this. Let's try to center this as close to the center as possible. Okay. Oh, I can do better than that. I like using the snail adhesive because it's not as sticky as the fast fuse, and you kind of, you know, gives you a little bit of leeway to move things around. All right, I think that's close enough here. Okay, so there it is. I have my label here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is work on the notebook part. Now what I do is I buy these notebooks at the dollar store, and they're composition notebooks, the little tiny ones. They come 3 for $1 at the dollar store. And so what I do is I take off the cover. Okay, it's not that hard to do. Just be gentle not to, you know, tear up the paper. And so this is what I've done. I've taken off the cover here, but I'm not going to throw this away just yet. I'm going to use it in a little bit. So I'm going to start out with a piece of cardstock, and this is very vanilla because that's the background of the color of designer series paper that I'm going to be using. And this is also from the Eastern Palace designer series stack. Okay, so this piece of very vanilla measures 7.5 by 4.5. Okay, and I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored scoring tool. All right, and I am going to score on the long side. And here's my stylus that I'm going to be scoring with, and I'm going to use the smaller ball, the one that has the smaller ball on the end, because this is actually the thick, very vanilla cardstock. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to make your first score at 3 3/8 of an inch. Okay, And then you're going to make the second score at 3 5/8 of an inch. And then the third score is going to be at 3 7/8 of an inch. All right. You're not going to put your scoreboard away just yet because you need to make some tick marks. Now, if you notice that on either side of the score lines, you've got a longer side and a shorter side. The shorter side is actually going to be end up being the front. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fold it in that middle, along that middle score line. I'm folding it, okay. And I'm going to make a couple of tick marks, and that's because I'm going to be cutting into that in between those folded lines. Okay, let's see. The first line is going to be at 1 7/8, and the second line is going to be at 2 5/8. Okay. I don't know if you can see those little tick lines that I made there. Okay, and now I'm done with the scoreboard. Alright, so the next thing you're going to do is take your bone folder and make sure that all of your score lines are folded and burnished. Okay. And there's only 3 lines, so make sure you get them nice and straight and even. Okay. That's great. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold out along that center line again, and where those tick marks are, I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut right up and right into the score line, but not go beyond it. Okay. That's what I've done. I've cut this into the score line right here, but not beyond it. Okay, and now I'm going to take this, open this up, I'm going to flip it over and fold it again in the middle on this side, and I'm going to just burnish, not the middle one here, not the one where I snipped off, or you just burnish right outside those little slit lines that I made. Okay, because these lines are going to, these folds are going to end up on the inside, and this one here, I'm going to poke it out, and that will end up on the outside. So you have this one here, that's the inside, and this is the outside, and that's the part that's going to hold a pencil. Okay, now, position your paper this way. Well, actually, what you're going to do next is you're going to apply some tear and tape on both sides of these little tabs that are sticking out this way. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet again. I like to have that so that my tape does not stick to the paper here. Okay, and I'm going to find the beginning of this. There it is. Okay, now I like to stick my hand through. Somebody showed me on a video, I don't know who, but there were a couple of tips on how to use this type of tape, this two-sided tape. All right, so I'm going to just make sure that the tear and tape goes right up to that folded edge right there. Okay, now I know that you can tear this and you can cut it, and I usually cut it, but I also found another little tip. I'm using this little tiny acrylic block that I bought from another set that I'm not using as much anymore, since I've got my blocks of Stampin' Up, which are superior blocks. Believe me, they're really great blocks. But this one here, I found another use for it. It's got this really great straight edge, and I'm going to just go ahead and put it right here, and I'll let that and just kind of tear it off, and I get, I get a nice straight edge as if I cut it. Isn't that great? So I'm going to go ahead and do that on all 4 sides, back and front, okay? And make sure that the tape just goes right to the edge and not over it. And take my block and rip. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? I love this little tip. Thank you for whoever showed it to me, because I can't remember. I watch so many YouTube videos in a day to give me inspiration, and I don't write down who showed me what, and that's kind of a bad habit of mine, because I would really like to thank the person who showed me this. And maybe she showed me this because somebody showed her this, but whoever came up with this, thank you so much. Okay, so we're done with the tear and tape for now. Now I'm going to bring out my paper piercing tools so that I can get this cover tape, whatever they call that. I think they just call it transfer, not a transfer tape. It's like a backer paper for your adhesive. Now what you're going to do is you're going to position this where the long side is on this side here, because that's the back, and you're just going to take off the paper, the backer paper, on 2 of these strips right next to the longer side. Okay, and then these 2 are going to fold over like this. What I like to do is I like to pick it up and fold it like that. Okay, just kind of press that down. All right. And now this is what you have. See? You're going to have this little flap here that's going to come, and that's where your pencil is going to fit. Now I bought these really cute little pencils. I bought a little box of them with the eraser on them, and these actually fit perfectly, nice and snug right there. Okay? So let me take that out for now so that we can finish this up. Now it's time to put the notebook in. And I'm going to remove the tape, or the protective layer here. I'm going to remove that. And I didn't throw this part away, so I'm just going to go ahead and lay this part in here like this. Now this is just going to help me space it a little bit, so that it's not completely in the bottom and it's more like in the middle of the tape here. And now I'm going to take this composition book here, the paper part, and I'm going to try my best to make sure that it is right in the center. Okay, so once I get this right where I need it to be, okay, you can see that. Then I'm going to take this cover off, and I'm going to make sure that this is right there. I'm going to take my bone folder again and just kind of burnish down the top part here. Okay, and now it's in there. It looks like a little booklet now. I'm just going to cover. Have a corner rounder there. However you want to round the corners with the smallest one that you have. Okay, so let's round these corners. Oh, that one didn't come out so good. Oh well, that was on the back, so that's good. Okay, now it's time to put our ribbon on. So let's put the pencil back in. You want to make sure that the pencil's inside when you put the ribbon on. And the ribbon that I have chosen is... Alright, let's get all this other stuff away from here so I can show you. I'm going to fold this ribbon in half, and I'm going to make sure that it is falling right between this and there. Okay? Like that. Make sure that it's kind of in half. And I'm going to place it down, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some snail adhesive all the way down the front. Oops, got a little bit of glue on that. It just goes to show you, don't work so fast, take your time. I'm just trying to go fast for the video. Okay, we've got it right in the center here, and I'm going to go ahead and tape this down straight as I can. There. Okay, that shouldn't really take that long. Okay, now go to the back, and now you've got some kind of frame of reference here. Take your time. Try not to over bump it here because now I've got tape on the ribbon, but that's okay. That'll come off if I rub it. Okay, now I've got my tape on. Okay, and now it's time to put the Designer Series paper on. Okay, let's go find the DSP that I chose. Okay, I've got two different sizes. This is the front, the shorter one, and this is the back. And the shorter one measures 3 1/4 by 4 3/8, and the back one measures 3 1/2 by 4 3/8. So I'm going to go ahead and take my corner rounder and round the corners. Okay, and I'm going to use my silicone craft sheet and my snail adhesive to apply the adhesive. And I'm going to just put this as close to the edge, giving it a like 1/16 border all around, except this one edge here. So it should fall like that. Okay. And then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to go ahead and round the corners again. Take some snail adhesive, put on the back here. And give this a little bit of a border all the way around, like a 1/16 of an inch border. I think that's what it is. Okay, so now you got your back also. Okay, and now it's time to put our little embellishment on here, this little thank you label. And we're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to use 5. I'm going to use one on every corner and one in the middle so that it doesn't concave in. Okay, and I'll take the backer paper off of these dimensionals. If I'm having a hard time, I usually stick my nail in it and then the paper comes off. I'm sure there's probably a lot of different ways to take this paper off, but that's the way I found was easiest for me. I got them all off. Yep, they're all sticky. Okay, so let's put this right here, right in the center, best you can. Okay. Oh, I could have gone over just a little bit, but that doesn't look too bad. And now let's make a bow with this ribbon. Now this ribbon is optional. You don't really have to put the ribbon on there. I just think it looks really pretty when you do. Okay, making our bow. And I'm not the greatest at this. As you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm a little bow challenged. Okay, so here we go. Oh, let's move that away. I have to be cognizant of the background of my videos and make sure you can see this. Oh, all right, I'm not going to fuss with it that much. Now I'm just going to take my ribbon scissors. I call these my ribbon scissors because that's the only thing I use them for, is cutting ribbon. I don't cut paper with these, although I probably could. Okay, there you have it. Isn't that pretty? Don't you just love that little wreath there with all those colors? Oh my goodness, I'm having so much fun with my 12-sided template. Look at all these beautiful colors here. Okay, and here too, look. So I've got a lot of these to send out to thank my customers for shopping with me during celebrations this year. Okay, and now if you need any of the tools and supplies that I used in this video, just go to my website at www.geamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net, and if you purchase by the end of April, or if you've purchased anything from me, any of my customers that buy anything from me in April, using my Hostess code or not, it's up to you, I will give you a 12-sided template for free. I will send that to you, but I will also send you some 3-inch squares in both Very Vanilla and Whisper White. Okay, so you get this and a bunch of these, about maybe 12 of them, so that you can practice with your own stamps and your own stamp positioning tool with your very own 12-sided template. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, I am Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye bye.